Is your slow loading Elementor WordPress website causing you to lose sleep? Why is that? Because Google uses web speed load as a ranking factor. Low rankings, meaning not ranking on page 1, affects everything, including your user experience, discoverability, and most important, your bottom line. It's time for you to get a good night's sleep and not worry about how fast your WordPress site is loading. Step into CSI's Website Lab. I'll show you 19 ways to speed up your website so you can rest easy. Hey there, and welcome back to the channel that teaches coaches and VAs how to convert marketing into money using your WOW website. I'm Carol J. Dunlop, the online WOW strategist and 6-time Amazon best-selling author. I'll be your guide and instructor, so grab a pen and buckle in. I'm using one of my own websites as part of this experiment so you can see what happens in real time. And I'm using unmarketyourbusiness.com. Just so you know, this site is my membership website where you can get all the information you need to know about marketing. Check it out when you get a chance. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is log into your website and go to the dashboard. Then scroll to Elementor, and then settings. Here you'll find the first 4 performance enhancers that we're going to use. So before we get started on this, let's look at what the speeds are like right now. So actually, looking at the performance, I get a score of 74, accessibility is 85, best practices 83, and SEO is 83. So that's pretty doggone good. So we're going to see how we can improve on this. Okay? All right, the first thing we're going to do is to click on Lazy Load Background Images. It's inactive by default. This tool makes images load only when you need them. It does this by including special coding that hides the pictures until the person scrolls to that area of the page. When you start using it, you'll see the pictures load as you begin to scroll. All right, the next one we're going to do is improved CSS loading. The conditional and inline CSS load experiment is a special tool that helps make your website load faster. It works by only loading the parts of the website that you actually need instead of loading everything all at once. This saves tons of time while making your website work better. So now we can see that improved asset loading is already active. That was one of the ones that I was going to do. It only loads the elements that are needed for each page, which makes the entire page show up faster. It makes the parts that help the website work smarter so they don't take as long to load. This helps people who have a special way of using the internet to see websites. It's called HTTP/2. Okay, the next one we're doing is additional custom breakpoints. Breakpoints are like special helpers that make your website look good on all devices. They use different rules for the website depending on how wide the screen is. You can control these helpers in the site settings. For example, when you create a website, you want it to look good on all devices, including desktops, tablets, and mobile devices. Breakpoints are the special helpers that make this happen. As I said before, they use different rules for the website depending on how wide the screen is. If you have a big screen like on a computer, a heading might be sized at 55 pixels. But if you have a smaller screen like on a phone, that heading might only be 21 pixels, so it fits better. Okay, so now since we've added these, we're going to save changes. And now we're going to go to the speeds, the page speed insights again, and see if anything's changed. So let me know in the comments if you've used these Elementor performance enhancers before and how they've worked for you. Okay, so now we're going to see how you can speed up your website using these next 5 plugins. But first, a note about plugins. How many is too many? When visitors land on your website, WordPress loads all of the plugins on your server. Plugins can take up a lot of processing power and can impact your website's design, loading speed, and loading time. Plugins either operate on the back end or on the front end. Front end plugins are customer facing and they make database requests to your server to display images, related posts, and social media feeds. Backend plugins work in the background for things like database rewrites, traffic analytics, and reading JavaScript and CSS code. Both types of plugins can significantly affect load times. So what are you supposed to do? How do you balance the plugins that you need with the ones that could be or should be deleted? No worries, I got you. I'll show you exactly what to do to see what plugins, if any, are slowing down your site right after we go over these 5 plugins that you need to have on your site. The first thing you need to do is optimize your images because large images can slow down your site. You can use image compression tools like Tiny PNG or Short Pixel to reduce the size of your images without compromising quality. My recommended plugin for image compression is Smush. It will automatically compress and resize images on your website, which will lead to faster loading times. The next plugin you need is a caching plugin. Caching plugins like WP Rocket or W3 Total Cache can significantly improve your website's loading speed by storing frequently accessed data on the user's device. This means that when visitors return to your site, it will be a much faster experience for them. WP Rocket is an easy to use caching plugin that comes with features like page caching, minification, and lazy loading. The next plugin you need is one that minimizes HTTP requests. HTTP requests are made whenever a user accesses your website. Each request they make can slow down your website's loading speed. To minimize HTTP requests, you can reduce the number of elements on your website, including images, scripts, and style sheets. I recommend using the Asset Cleanup plugin. It helps you to reduce the number of HTTP requests on your website by selectively disabling unnecessary scripts and style sheets. It can also help you to identify and disable unneeded files on your website. Now you'll need to minify CSS and JavaScript files. Minifying CSS and JavaScript files involves removing the unnecessary white space and code to reduce the overall file size. This can significantly improve your website loading speed as smaller files load faster. You can use a plugin like WP Minify or WP Optimize to accomplish this task. WP Optimize helps you optimize your website's database, which can also improve your website's loading speed. This last plugin is going to help you to reduce video load time. And you know we all need that, right? Lazy Load for Videos is a plugin that will help you reduce the file of videos on your website. It works by only loading videos when they are visible on the actual page. This reduces the amount of data that needs to be loaded at once. After you've loaded these plugins and make sure they're running okay, recheck your site speed and let's see how it's doing. If this information has been helpful to you so far, give me a thumbs up or a like, but I've got much more, so don't go nowhere yet. As promised, here are 3 ways that you can test your plugins to make sure that they're not the ones that are slowing down your website. First thing you do, step 1, is to run a website speed test. Using a website speed testing tool like GTmetrix or Pingdom can test your website's loading speed time. If your website is slow, the tool will tell you which elements are slowing down your site the most, including the plugins. Step number 2, use a plugin performance profiler. There are several plugin performance profiler tools, try to say that 3 times fast, that can help you determine which of the plugins are slowing down your site. Some popular options are P3, Plugin Performance Profiler, Query Monitor, and GTmetrix's waterfall chart. Step 3, disable all the plugins. You can disable all the plugins one by one and then re-enable them one at a time to see which one is actually causing the slowdown. This is time consuming, I know, but it's the best way to see which plugin is doing the most, doing the worst. I've had to do it several times on my website, so I know how time consuming it is, but I promise you it will be worth it in the long run. Your next task is to clean up your WordPress database. If your database is junky, your website is going to run slow, period. But it doesn't have to be that way. Here are 6 ways to clean up your database so that your WordPress website runs efficiently and loads as fast as possible. The very first and most important thing that you need to do is to back up your database before you make any changes. There's nothing worse than having made a change or two and your website stops working, or you see that white screen, I guess you could call it a white screen of death, where your website is gone, there's a white screen, there's maybe some code that means that something isn't working. I use BackupWordPress to ensure that my database is safe and secure. In the event that something goes wrong with one of your changes, you can use Backup WordPress to get your site back up and running quickly. Now let's get rid of any unused plugins and themes that may be taking up valuable space in your database. You'll simply need to delete the ones that you aren't using or that no longer serve a purpose, are out of date, or have been deleted from the WordPress depository. It's a great habit to check plugins at least monthly and to also keep them updated so you can deter hackers. Spam, the bane of our existence. Spam comments can pile up inside of your database over time, so make sure you stay on top of deleting them. As you can see, I'm doing really good. Yay! I don't have any spam comments at all because I've deleted the ones I had, and then plus this is a membership site. I'm not really going to get any spam comments because the bulk of the site is closed to public. But if most of us, if you don't have a membership website, you're going to get spam if you have a blog, because those spammers always find that stuff and come and leave those comments on there. So it's very important for you to get rid of them as often as possible. I would schedule a time or a day that you actually go through and look through the spam. There are some plugins you can use like a Kismet that will stop comment spam, and there's some other ones that you could use, but for the most part there are some that are going to get through, and for those ones that get through, you need to take care of them quickly. Now you can delete the comment. You can go to the comment section as you see here, and you can delete, just click on them and delete them. The thing is that you can only delete 20 at a time, so you can go through and click 20, that's all that shows up on the screen, and then just delete them, and you'll have to keep going through that. But you mark them as spam so that when you get all of them, let's say I have a couple of clients who have had 200, 300 pieces of spam in there, and so I would go through on my maintenance part and just delete that spam one at a time, 20 at a time, and then when I got all of them, I would just hit empty spam, and that took care of it. Another powerful option for cleaning up your database is the Advanced Database Cleaner plugin. It helps you remove unnecessary data and to optimize your data for faster performance. It even allows you to clean up post revisions, spam comments, unused tags, and much more. The plugin also comes with scheduling options, so you can set it to run automatically on a regular basis. Cleaning your database can be a pain, but it is necessary. Now, don't forget to back up your database before you start messing with it in any kind of way, shape, form, or fashion. You'll thank me in the end for that. Now, here are what I call manual steps that you can take to ensure that your website is running at its best and loading fast for visitors. Choose a fast hosting provider. Your website's hosting provider can have a significant impact on the speed of your website and its loading time. You also want to choose a host that specializes in hosting WordPress websites, or at the very least, they do have WordPress products. You'll also want to use a content delivery network, or CDN, such as Cloudflare or Akamai. These networks distribute your website's contents across multiple servers, resulting in much faster loading times. Next, you need to ensure that your website is mobile friendly. Check your site using Google's mobile friendly test tool. Mobile friendliness means that your website is designed and optimized to be easily viewed on mobile devices like smartphones and tablets. With so many people accessing the internet using mobile devices, website loading speed has become a crucial factor. The average person has the attention span of a goldfish. That's only a few seconds. In fact, if your website takes longer than that to load, you could be saying goodbye to website visitors, sales, and clients. If you like this content and want more, don't forget to subscribe. If you want to get more traffic to your newly sped up website, watch this video. It shows you 3 ways to get traffic to your website that actually works. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.